This Christmas, millions will travel with joy in their hearts, but not everyone will return the same. In today's story, a wealthy family lost sight of their daughter for just 1 minute, and she vanished without a trace. At the same airport, a kind village boy trying to chase his American dream was arrested for drug trafficking, simply because he helped an old woman carry her bag. Two destinies, one airport, one Christmas day. And what happened next will shake you to your core. Before we begin, remember to like, share, and subscribe, because this is a warning every traveler must hear. Let's dive in. Emma stood in the middle of the village square, staring at the small nylon bag at his feet. It held all his earthly belongings, 2 shirts, a pair of jeans, his worn basketball sneakers, and a Bible his mother had placed on top of everything with trembling hands. Around him, the entire village had gathered. Emma, remember us when you become a steo. Don't go and forget your people in America. God will protect you, my son. Women waved wrappers, men clapped his shoulder, children ran around chanting his name. The December sun burned hot over the red earth, but Emma felt only one thing, gratitude. He was 19, tall, lean, with muscles carved from endless hours playing basketball on the dusty village court. People said his jump was like he had wings. Scouts had seen him once during an inter-school competition. One thing led to another, and now he had a trial opportunity with a basketball academy in America. But the village had carried the weight. They sold goats, bags of rice, and firewood to contribute. The old catechist donated his small savings. The palm wine tapper sent a keg of fresh palm wine the day Emma's passport came out to celebrate destiny. His mother, Mama Ebele, held his hand so tightly he could feel her fingers shaking. "Chukwu gozie gi, my son," she whispered, her eyes shiny. "God will bless you. Don't forget who you are. Don't forget where you came from." "I won't, Mama," Emma said softly, fighting his own tears. "I'll make you proud. I'll make this village proud." The village chief, a tall man with gray beard, raised his walking stick. "Emma, your kindness opened this door. You are not going there only for yourself. You are going in our name. Remember the poor. Remember the helpless. Remember that way lifts the humble." Everyone chorused, "Amen." Emma had always been that boy who helped people, carrying water for old women, fixing roofs, buying medicine on credit for sick neighbors. Kindness wasn't something he planned, it just came naturally. So when the opportunity for the trial came, the village agreed. If anybody deserves help, it is Emma. He climbed into the village bus that would take him to the city, then to the airport. As the bus began to move, he looked back through the open window. His mother stood there, her hands lifted in prayer, lips moving. The chief nodded at him with a knowing smile. Little children waved, dust rising around their bare feet. "God, please," Emma prayed silently, "don't let me fail them." In another part of the country, far from the dusty village, a house that looked like a small palace was glittering with Christmas lights. In the compound, a black SUV was parked, its boot open. Suitcases lay beside it, designer luggage, labels, and tags. A little girl in a red Christmas dress ran in circles, singing an off-key Christmas song. Jingle bells, jingle all the mummy see my shoe." Her name was Zara, 6 years old, lively, sharp, and full of questions. Her mother, Amaka, sat on the veranda scrolling her phone, answering messages, and checking flight details. She wore a silk top and jeans, hair in a neat wig, nails perfectly painted. A woman who had seen hardship growing up and was determined her daughter would never taste it. "Zara, don't scatter your hair, I beg," she said distractedly. "We are going to the airport soon. Your father hates lateness." Zara giggled and skipped over to her father, Chief Remy Okafor, who stood by the car talking to their driver and 2 domestic staff. "Daddy, are we really going to London?" she asked, eyes wide. "Yes, my princess," he said, lifting her up onto his arm. "White Christmas, snow, Christmas lights, Father Christmas, everything. You will see it all." "Will there be chicken there?" Her parents burst into laughter. "Yes," her father said, "plenty chicken." Chief Remy was one of those men people called made, real estate, oil, and investments. He had grown up poor but worked like a man on fire. Now he used money to erase every memory of lack. His greatest fear was his daughter suffering what he had suffered. "Sir, should I lock the inner gate?" the security man asked. "Yes, and tell the cook to leave the fridge light on." We'll be back after New Year, Chief Remy replied. His phone buzzed. Yes, Segun? Yes, we're on our way. Business class? Yes. My wife and Zara? Okay, see you soon. He ended the call and clapped his hands. Everybody, let's move. Time waits for no man, and flight no day wait for late people. Zara's nanny adjusted the girl's small backpack. Amaka picked her handbag and passport pouch. Let's go, baby, she said. Zara jumped into the back seat, still humming Christmas songs. She pressed her face to the window, watching the gate slide open. Two different vehicles in two different worlds were heading towards the same place that day, the airport. One carrying the hope of a small village, the other carrying the comfort of a wealthy home. Both unaware that before that Christmas day ended, their lives would collide in a way no one could ever imagine. The airport was chaos dressed in Christmas colors. Trolleys squeaked across shiny tiles. Loudspeakers announced flights in crisp, uncaring voices. Children cried, people laughed, suitcases rolled, phones rang, and everywhere you turned, there were blinking Christmas lights wrapped around pillars. Emma stepped through the sliding glass doors of the international terminal and froze for a moment. He had never seen a place so big. Cold air from the AC wrapped around him. The floor shone like water. People of different races moved past him, some in suits, others in joggers and hoodies, some with Santa hats. He hugged his small bag closer to his shoulder. Excuse me, where is the check-in for Air Connect flight to New York? He asked a security man. Upstairs, left side, follow that sign, the man replied, pointing at a board. Thank you, sir. Emma moved carefully, trying not to look too lost. His heart beat fast, but it wasn't fear. It was a mix of excitement and pressure. He thought of his mother praying at home, the village watching the clock, telling each other, by now he must be at the airport. He decided to get water before going upstairs. His throat was dry. At the same time, the Okafor family stepped down from their SUV at the departure drop-off area. Sir, let me help you with the luggage, the driver said, pulling out 3 large suitcases, one medium one, and a pink carry-on bag that belonged to Zara. Careful with that pink 1-0, Zara warned. My Barbie is inside. Amaka smiled, adjusting her handbag. Zara, hold my hand, she said. Zara obeyed for 5 seconds. Then a group of airport singers dressed in red and green walked past, clapping and singing a Christmas medley. Beats of a talking drum followed. Zara squealed, Mommy, music! Stay close, her mother said, eyes already on the big screen showing flight timings. Remy, we have less than 2 hours. Oh. We're early, her husband replied. Relax, I'll handle check-in. You just keep an eye on Zara. They moved into the terminal, joining the river of people flowing towards check-in counters. The smell of food hit them halfway, fried chicken, meat pies, jollof rice, coffee. Daddy, I'm hungry, Zara said. We just left house, her mother murmured, still distracted. You can't be hungry yet. I'm hungry, she insisted, lower lip pushing out. There's a fast food there, Chief Remy pointed. Let's eat quickly before check-in. They turned towards the food court area. Emma stood in the same food court, counting his money. 1 bottled water, maybe 1 meat pie. He didn't want to waste what he had. It needed to last till he reached America. He hadn't even changed all his naira yet. He bought water and a meat pie and sat at the corner of a table, near the railing overlooking the lower floor. From where he sat, he could see crowds moving like ants, lights blinking, trolleys rolling. He took a small bite of the pie and chewed slowly. If not for God, he whispered. A small girl's laughter floated past him. He looked up and saw her, little in a red Christmas dress, black shoes that clicked on the floor, hair in neat puffs tied with red ribbons. She hugged a small pink backpack to her chest as she skipped past. Behind her, a well-dressed couple walked, not too far away. The woman checked her phone while moving. The man was talking to someone on a call, voice serious. Emma smiled. Rich people. Their problems were different, but he hoped they were happy. The family picked a table near him. Zara, sit down, the mother said. Don't move from here, you hear? Yes, Mummy, Zara said sweetly, swinging her legs under the chair. What do you want? Her father asked. Chicken and chips or rice? Rice, jollof, she shouted. Her parents went to join the queue, arguing about drinks and portions, leaving Zara at the table, her pink backpack on the chair beside her. Zara watched people. She liked watching people. That was her favorite game. Guess their story. She saw a man in suit rushing with only a laptop bag. Maybe he is going to collect money somewhere. She saw a woman with two crying babies. Maybe she is tired of them. Then she saw Emma. He was tall, dark with kind eyes and a smile that looked like it stayed permanently on his face. His clothes were simple but neat. He ate slowly like someone who respected food. Maybe he is going to play basketball in heaven, she thought, mixing up stories in her head. A group of carol singers passed again, this time closer. They beat drums, clapped hands, and sang, "Joy to the world, the Lord is come." Zara couldn't resist. She loved music. She looked back. Her parents were still in the queue. Her mother was laughing at something her father said. Nobody was looking at her, just a few steps. She could go closer and listen, then come back. She slid off the chair, leaving her backpack there, and followed the song. Nobody saw her leave. Zara followed the singing group until they turned towards another wing of the terminal. Excited, she spun around in a small circle, her shoes clicking. When she stopped, she realized she didn't know where she was. The food court was no longer in sight. The chairs looked different. The people were different. She turned left, turned right. No pink backpack, no mummy, no daddy. Her little heart began to hammer. "Mummy?" she called softly. The noise of the airport swallowed her small voice. She tried retracing her steps, but the more she moved, the more everything looked new. A long corridor stretched ahead. A door marked "Staff Only" stood slightly open on one side. A cleaner pushed a trolley of mops past her. Zara swallowed. Maybe I should just stand here. Daddy will find me. As she stood there, feeling small and scared, she noticed something happening a little distance away. A young man, Emma, was standing near the check-in area downstairs, pushing a trolley with one small bag on it. He looked slightly confused as he checked signs. An old woman in a faded wrapper and head tie was watching him from a few steps away. Her back was slightly bent. In front of her was a medium-sized black travel bag with a broken handle. She shuffled towards Emma. "My son," she said in a tired voice. "Please help me. My hand is paining me. Help me with this bag, Biko. Just small. I'm an old woman." Emma turned quickly, concern in his eyes. "Ah, Mama, good afternoon," he greeted, stepping closer. "What is it?" "This bag," she said, pointing. "I'm going to check in, but it's heavy. Please, help me carry it small. God will bless you." Emma didn't even think twice. He left his own trolley, bent, and lifted her bag onto it. "No problem, Mama," he said. "I'm going that side too. I'll help you push it." Zara watched them from the corridor entrance. The old woman's face was wrinkled, eyes watery. She had the look of someone people often ignored. Emma's kind smile as he helped her made Zara's small heart relax a bit. Good people still exist, she thought, remembering how her parents always told her, "Be kind, but careful." She stepped a little forward, intending to go and ask the young man if he had seen her parents. Before she could move again, a hand touched her shoulder. She turned. A woman in tight jeans and a fitted top smiled at her. She had long braids and long eyelashes, nails painted blood red. "Hi, sweetheart," the lady said. "Are you lost?" Zara hesitated. I'm looking for my mummy." "Ah, don't worry," the woman said soothingly. "I'm an auntie here. I will help you find her. Come, let's go and call your mummy at the information desk." Zara bit her lip. Her parents had warned her not to follow strangers, but this one sounded nice. And she had auntie voice. Plus she mentioned information desk. Maybe that's how they call mummies at the airport. "Okay," Zara whispered. The woman took her hand. They walked in the opposite direction from where Zara had been. As they moved, Zara glanced back one more time. She saw Emma still pushing the old woman's bag towards the check-in counter. The old woman walked beside him, slightly behind, looking around nervously. Zara wanted to shout, "Uncle, I'm lost!" But the noise swallowed her courage. They turned down another small passage leading away from the main crowd. Her heart began to whisper the truth. Something is wrong. Back in the food court, the Okafors were in their own small world of disaster they hadn't yet discovered. 2 jollof rice, 1 chicken, 1 chips, 3 drinks, Amaka said, holding the tray. "Make the chicken spicy," her husband added. They laughed at something the cashier said, took the food, and walked back to their table. Except there was no child on the chair. Only a small pink backpack sat there. "Zara?" Amaka called lightly. Zara, stop playing Jor. No answer. She looked around for bouncing puffs. Nothing. Maybe she went to the window, Remy said. They checked nearby tables. They checked behind pillars. No, 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 no. Amaka's voice began to shake. Zara! Zara! People began to turn. The food tray rattled in her hand. Have you checked the toilet? Someone suggested. Amaka dropped the tray carelessly and ran to the restroom. No Zara. Her heart plunged into cold, dark water. Remy, she screamed, her voice breaking. I can't find her. Within minutes, the food court turned into a search party. Security was called. Announcements were drafted. Attention passengers, a 6-year-old girl named Zara Okafor is missing. She is wearing a red dress. Amaka clung to her husband's arm, sobbing. Remy, my child, my baby. Jesus, no, please. Calm down, one security officer said, though his own face was tight. We will find her, Ma. This happens sometimes. Children wander off. He tried to sound confident, but the look in his eyes betrayed worry. Everyone had heard stories. Children taken in markets, motor parks, and airports. Bodies never found. Lives destroyed. Time moved like mud. Downstairs near the check-in counters, Emma and the old woman finally joined the queue for their flight. She had insisted on checking in at the same airline desk as him, even though she clutched a different flight ticket. She stood slightly behind him, putting pressure on one hand and holding her wrapper with the other. Thank you, my son, she said softly. God bless you. Young people like you are few nowadays. Emma smiled. It's nothing, Mama. My mother is at home. If she were here, I'd want someone to help her too. She nodded, her eyes flickering. They inched forward until it was finally his turn. Next, the airline staff called. Emma stepped up and handed over his passport and e-ticket printout. Good afternoon, he said politely. The staff checked his details, typed on the keyboard, and nodded. Destination, New York via Paris. One bag? She asked. Yes, just this one, he said, pushing his own small bag forward. And the other one? She pointed at the old woman's bag on the trolley. Emma chuckled. Oh, that's Mama's own. I'm just helping her to carry it. Before the staff could respond, the old woman slid forward quickly. No, it's his own, she said sharply. He's my grandson. It's his bag. He told me to say that. Emma blinked, confused. Mama? He said, turning to her with a laugh. I'm not your grandson. I'm just... The old woman's eyes hardened, flicking from him to the staff. Yes, you are, she said coldly. Don't start lying now. Is it because we are at the airport? Something dark passed between them. Emma's smile faded. What are you saying? I just met you, Mama. The staff looked from one to the other, suspicion growing. Whose bag is it? It's his, the old woman insisted. Check it. He told me to help him say it's mine. I don't want trouble. It's his. No, Emma's voice rose. Madam, I don't know this woman. She begged me. But the staff had already signaled to airport security. A security officer walked over, eyes sharp. What is going on here? The staff pointed. There is confusion about the ownership of this bag. Is it your bag? The officer asked Emma calmly. No, sir, Emma said quickly. I was just helping her carry it. She said her hand is paining her. Please, I don't... It's his, the old woman cut in. I don't want Wahala. He begged me. I am an old woman. I can't go to prison. The officer's face tightened. Put the bag on the scanner, he ordered. Emma's heart began to pound. The bag slid into the X-ray scanner. A silence fell over the small area, thick and heavy. Emma's palms were sweating. His ears rang. He thought of his mother, his village, the chief's words. The security officer leaned toward the screen. His eyes narrowed. What is that? The airline staff whispered. The image on the monitor showed clothes and shoes, and several tightly wrapped, brick-shaped objects tucked carefully between them. The officer straightened slowly. Pause it, he told the scanner operator. Enlarge. The image zoomed. Drugs. Even someone who had never seen them before could guess. The officer turned to Emma. Step away from the counter, he said, his voice suddenly hard. Don't touch anything. Emma's mouth went dry. Sir, I don't understand. The old woman began to cry loudly. Ha! Jesus, what is this? I don't know him. Oh, she wailed. He begged me at the car park to say the bag is mine. But I told him no. I am a widow. I am innocent. He is the one. He is the one. People turned to look. Some shook their heads. Others whispered. Emma stared at her, betrayed. Mama, why are you lying? He said, voice cracking. You begged me at the departure door. You said, shut up, she screamed. You want to send me to early grave? Thief, criminal, drug boy. Before he could respond, two security officers grabbed him by the arms. Sir, please, Emma gasped. I swear on my mother's life, I've never seen that bag before. I was only helping. You can explain at the office, one officer said flatly. You are under arrest for suspected drug trafficking. He pulled out a pair of handcuffs. The cold metal snapped around Emma's wrists. In that moment, it felt like the world had ended. He saw flashes in his mind, his mother's face, the cheering village, the little dusty basketball court, people saying, Emma is our hope. Our hope is a criminal, a cruel voice whispered in his head. He bowed his head as they began to drag him away. At the same time upstairs, chaos had fully broken loose over Zara's disappearance. Security guards ran in different directions. Staff checked bathrooms, staircases, hallways. An announcement ran on repeat. Please, if you see a little girl in a red dress, respond immediately. Amaka was on her knees in the middle of the terminal, crying, her wig slightly shifted, makeup ruined. God, whatever I have done, forgive me, but don't take my child, she sobbed. Remy, they should close the gates. Nobody should leave this airport. We are doing our best, sir, a senior officer said to Chief Remy. We've alerted all exits. CCTV is being reviewed. I want to see the CCTV room now, Remy demanded. You don't understand. I am not some random man. That is my only child. Bring her back to me. His voice broke on the last words. You may miss your flight, sir, the officer warned. Forget the flight, he shouted. We're not going anywhere without her. Just like that, the Christmas vacation didn't matter anymore. Business class tickets, luxury hotels, London snow, all of it became dust compared to one small, missing 6-year-old girl. Far away from the bright lights and polished floors, in a quiet back corridor behind a staff-only door, Zara sat on a cold wooden stool, her hands tied in front of her with a thick rope. The woman with the long braids had dropped her sweet tone. Sit there and shut up, she said, now sounding harsh. If you shout, I will beat you. Zara's lower lip trembled. Please, I want my mummy, she whispered. Your mummy will be fine, another man in the room said, counting money. We just need to move you first. Our buyer is waiting. After Christmas, she'll be somewhere else, maybe Europe, more money. They all laughed. Zara's heart pounded. She remembered something her Sunday school teacher always said. When you are in danger, call on Jesus. Jesus, help me, she whispered under her breath, tears sliding down her cheeks. No one noticed the small CCTV camera fixed high in the corner of the room, blinking a tiny red light. No one noticed the small gap under the door where a strip of light passed, and then disappeared as someone walked by. The someone was a cleaner named Musa. He pushed his mop trolley past the staff corridor daily. That morning, he had heard the missing child announcement 3 times already. He had children of his own. His heart was heavy. As he passed, he heard a sound, a muffled sob, a child's voice. The word mummy. He paused. Who is there? He called softly. Silence was long. He bent and peeped through the tiny crack between the door and the frame. He couldn't see much, but he caught a glimpse of small red fabric. A dress, his heart skipped. He knew about things like this. He had heard stories. He had seen suspicious people around before. But it was always whispers, never in his front. Now it was in his front. Fear and courage fought inside him. If he reported it, and those people had strong connections, they could get him fired, or worse. But then he imagined his own youngest daughter, Zainab, sitting in that room crying for him. Courage won. He pushed his trolley away calmly, pretending not to notice anything. 10 minutes later, Amaka sat in a corner of the upper terminal near a pillar, shoulders shaking with quiet sobs. People had told her to sit. Someone had brought water. She couldn't drink. Her husband was arguing with senior officers somewhere else. Her phone buzzed nonstop. Family calling, friends texting, her mother shouting on the phone, "You lost my granddaughter?" She wished the ground would open and swallow her. "Madam?" She looked up. It was a cleaner. He wore a faded uniform, hands rough from years of work. He wrung his cap in his hands nervously. "Yes?" she croaked. "Madam, please, are you the one looking for small girl in red dress?" he asked quietly. Tears filled her eyes again. Yes, have you seen her? Please, have you seen my baby? Not exactly, he said slowly, glancing around. But I hear child voice in staff corridor, crying, saying, Mummy. They locked the door. I think something is not right there. Amaka's heart jumped. Where? She demanded, grabbing his arm. Where? Madam, please don't shout, he pleaded. Those people can be dangerous. Let us go and call security quietly. Together they hurried to the nearest security desk. Officer, please, the cleaner said. That missing girl. I think she is in the staff back room near loading area. I heard child voice. I'm sure. The officer frowned. Are you certain? I have children, Musa said simply. I know how a child cries for mother. The officer looked at Amaka's desperate eyes and made a decision. Let's go, he said, calling two other officers on his radio. Nobody enters or leaves that corridor until I get there. They moved quickly, Musa in front, then the officers, then Amaka. Her legs shook as they hurried down the stairs, through a side passage, then another narrow hallway that smelled of cleaning chemicals. Musa pointed. Here. The officer motioned to the others. On three, he whispered. 1, 2. He kicked the door open. Freeze, police. Everyone inside jumped. The man counting money dropped it. The woman with the braids cursed. Another man reached for something under the table. Try it, the lead officer warned, raising his gun. You will die here today. Behind them, Amaka pushed forward. Her eyes scanned the room wildly until they landed on a small, shivering figure in a red dress, hands tied, cheeks wet. Zara! Mommy! The little girl sobbed. Amaka rushed to her, almost falling. The rope was cut. She pulled her daughter into her arms, hugging her so tightly it hurt. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry, she cried. I should never have left you alone. I'm sorry. Mommy, I was scared, Zara sobbed into her shoulder. They wanted to carry me away. They are bad people. Officers handcuffed the three traffickers, pushing them against the wall. Where are the others? One officer barked. You will tell us at the station, another said coldly. As the criminals were dragged away, the old woman who had given Emma the bag was among them, her wrapper now slightly displaced, her weak back mysteriously straighter. She recognized Amaka and smirked. You rich people, she muttered. Always think your children are safe. They are our best market. The officer shoved her forward. Keep quiet. Amaka held Zara closer, shaken to her core. She had almost lost her child because of a moment of distraction. Back in the small, dark interrogation room, Emma sat on a metal chair, hands still cuffed, head bowed. How old are you? The officer across from him asked. 19, Emma whispered. You know how much these drugs are worth? Emma shook his head. Millions, the officer said. And you expect us to believe you just helped an old woman to carry a bag? You think we are fools? I swear, sir, Emma said, tears in his eyes. I come from a small village. They sold goats so I could travel. I'm not a criminal. I was only trying to help. She begged me, please check your cameras. Please, you'll see. The officer sighed heavily. Cameras don't always help, he said. And even if they show you helping, how do we know you didn't agree with her? Old woman is a common cover. Emma's heart sank. He thought of his village waiting for a message that he had boarded safely. He imagined them hearing that he'd been arrested as a drug trafficker. He imagined his mother collapsing. God, please, he whispered brokenly. Don't let my life end like this. There was a knock on the door. Another officer entered, slightly breathless. Inspector, they've rescued the missing girl, he said. And there's more. The girl recognized your suspect. Emma looked up. What? The inspector asked, confused. The little girl said she saw him earlier, the other officer explained. At the departure area, the same old woman who gave him the bag as part of the kidnap gang. They just arrested her with two others. Something bright flickered in the inspector's eyes. Bring the girl, he ordered. And her parents. 10 minutes later, the door opened again. This time, Zara walked in holding her mother's hand tightly. Her father followed, face still pale from the ordeal. Emma looked at them and felt a weird sense of déjà vu. I saw them at the food court, he thought. The little girl with the pink backpack. Zara, the inspector said gently, kneeling a bit. Look at this young man very well. Have you seen him before today? Zara nodded immediately. Yes, I saw him, she said. He was eating meat pea. That old woman asked him to help her carry her bag. She said her hand was paining her. He was just helping her. Emma's throat closed. Someone believed him. Are you sure? The inspector pressed. Yes, she said firmly. I wanted to ask him where my mummy was, but the bad auntie held my hand and took me away. That boy is not a bad person. The inspector stood. Get me the CCTV from departure hall and from the car park, he barked. Now, I want every angle where that old woman appears. They waited. Amaka watched Emma closely. He looked so young. Too young to be locked in a room like this. Too young to carry that much fear in his eyes. What is your name? She asked softly. Emma Ma, he whispered. Where are you traveling to? America, for basketball trial. My village. His voice broke. My village paid for my ticket. Her heart clenched. She had almost lost a child that day. She understood now. Sometimes destiny hangs on the tiniest actions, like helping someone carry a bag. The CCTV footage arrived. They all gathered around the small monitor in the corner. The first clip showed the airport entrance. The old woman came in, walking alone, dragging the suspicious bag. No limp, no sign of pain. She walked straight, eyes sharp, scanning the area. Another clip showed Emma entering later, alone, carrying only his small bag. The next clip showed the old woman standing near a pillar, watching him, waiting, studying him. Then finally the clip Zara had witnessed. The old woman approaching Emma, holding her hand to her back, acting weak. Emma putting down his own bag, helping her lift hers, pushing it with his trolley. The inspector paused the video. Replay the entrance again, he said. They watched it twice, 3 times. It was obvious. The old woman had planned everything. She had targeted Emma specifically because he looked kind and naive. The inspector turned to him. Emma, he said slowly, I owe you an apology. Tears spilled down Emma's cheeks. So, I'm free? He asked in a small voice. Yes, the inspector said. You are free. You were used. But we caught them. He signaled to the officer beside him, who stepped forward and unlocked the cuffs. For the first time in hours, Emma's wrists were free. He flexed his fingers, feeling the weight lift off his soul. Amaka stepped closer. Thank you, Emma, she said quietly. If you hadn't helped that old woman, maybe she wouldn't have been arrested. Maybe they would have taken my child and disappeared. I don't know how to thank you. Emma shook his head quickly. I didn't do anything, Ma. I only helped. His voice faded. The emotions were too much. Chief Remy, who had been silent, stepped forward. You said you are going to America? He asked. Yes, sir, Emma said. But I don't even know if I can still travel today. They took my passport and I don't know how this will affect my trial. What will I tell my village? That I was arrested for drug trafficking? Remy exchanged a look with the inspector. Inspector, can he still travel? He asked. The inspector nodded. Once we clear the paperwork, yes. He is a victim, not a suspect. The drugs are tied to the woman and her gang, not him. We will put that in our report. I'll also give him a written clearance in case he has any trouble later. Do it, Remy said firmly, and put my number there. If anyone tries to frustrate him, they'll answer to me. He turned to Emma. What time is your flight? Emma checked the crumpled printout with trembling hands. In 2 hours, sir. Good, you'll make it, Remy said. Even if you don't, I will reschedule it. Consider it my thanksgiving to God for returning my daughter to me. Your village will not hear shame because of this. Emma's eyes widened. You'll reschedule it? For me? Yes, Remy replied simply. You helped the wrong person, but your heart was right. The world is already hard enough for good boys. Let me do my own little part. Emma broke down crying, covering his face. Thank you, sir, he whispered. God bless you. God bless your family. Zara stepped closer to him. Uncle Emma, she said shyly, when you go to America, will you remember me? He smiled through his tears. I will never forget you, he said. You saved my life too. They all looked at him. He was right. If Zara had not seen him helping the old woman, if she had not survived to testify, if the cleaner had not been brave, he would have gone to prison for a crime he didn't commit. Destiny had woven their stories together like thread in a giant, unseen tapestry. Epilogue. A warning for Christmas. A week later, a video quietly went viral. The title read, Watch this before you travel this Christmas. Never neglect your child. Never hold a stranger's bag. In the video, a well-dressed man and woman sat in a simple room with a small Christmas tree behind them. Between them sat a little girl in a red dress. Beside them stood a tall young man wearing a plain shirt and holding a basketball. Amaka spoke first. This Christmas, many of you will travel, she said. By road, by air, by sea. You'll be busy, excited, distracted. But please, don't be like me. I left my daughter alone for just a few minutes in a crowded airport. I almost never saw her again. Zara looked at the camera, her eyes serious. Don't follow strangers, she said. Even if they say they will help you find your mummy. Shout, run, tell someone in uniform. Then Emma spoke. I grew up being taught to help people, he said, and helping is good. But today, criminals use kindness as a weapon. An old woman begged me to help her carry her bag. I was almost jailed for drug trafficking. So I'm telling every young person out there, never hold or check in a stranger's bag. Not even for 1 second. Not in a park, not in a taxi, not at the airport. If they truly need help, tell them to ask an official. Chief Remy ended the video. Travel's not a game, he said. Evil people are working overtime during festive seasons. Watch your children. Watch your luggage. Don't let your dipper to appear kind or cultured. Put your life or someone else's life in danger. The video cut to a simple message in bold letters. Moral, this Christmas and always, love your children enough to watch them closely. Love yourself enough to protect your destiny. Never neglect your child for 1 second in a crowded place. Never agree to carry or check in a stranger's bag, no matter how innocent they look.